So Ric Flair, in 2023, says he wants a return to the ring. He wants to return to the ring. Okay, let me get this straight. Let me go back to the 1970s. He gets in a plane crash and he's told to never wrestle again. Let's go to 1983. He says Harley Race in a Flair for the Gold at NWA Starrcade 83, which is like the NWA's version of WrestleMania 1. And then let's go now to 1994. Austin and Pillman, the Hollywood Blondes, make a Flair for the Old instead of Flair for the Gold, because in 1994 Ric Flair was old for a wrestler. It's 30 years ago. That's 30 years ago, where people were saying Ric Flair was too old to wrestle. But he did it anyway, and into his late 90s, Bischoff thought he was so over the hump, and he probably was, that Bischoff didn't want to book him correctly, so Flair, they have that feud. Ric Flair should know, he beats up guys like Bret Hart, Mick Foley, Randy Savage in his book because he's insecure and he wants to put himself up higher, and the only way he can put himself up higher is if he rips off other people that are legends in the business. That's another story. But even in 1998, Steve Austin, who says Ric Flair is the best of all time, said he needed to retire. In 1998, on Off the Record, he went, yeah, it's time to throw his boots up. And in the early 2000s, he came back, and it's ridiculous. I mean, anyone that wants to think wrestling, suspend your disbelief. He was in his 50s, and he did come around to produce some great matches, but he had to have help with the likes of Triple H, who's a good worker. They give them all the time in the world and all that, because Ric Flair is Triple H's idol. So he gets the greatest send-off ever in 2008, and it's because of that. He's Triple H's idol, because he didn't really have a great WWF resume. He had a great resume, but not one of the top ever for the WWE. Maybe pro wrestling in the grand spectrum, but the WWE, not really. So you know that Triple H is involved in that, and he doesn't hide it. So he gets all these off-air ceremonies. He gets the greatest retirement ever. He gets a whole weekend for himself where he's crying and everyone comes back. And then he gets a statue made for him in 2015. He came back before that. He came back to TNA a year later, just sold himself out like a whore. And then in the mid-2000s, he gets this statue at NXT, and everybody comes back again saying, thank you, Rick, and they're all doing this again. And then just 2 years ago, he has a retirement match, and don't even ask me why Bret Hart and Mick Foley would show up for that, but they did. And now you're going to spin on that and come back again and make your retirement again? You're in your mid-70s, Flair. It's over. That's just my opinion. If you like this channel, if you like rants, or if you like old school wrestling talk, or even up-to-date reviews, I do that. So hit like and subscribe. I'm starting to get this channel. I want to start to get the channel big, is what I'm saying. So that would help me out a lot. But yeah, I just had to say that about Ric Flair, just because that's my feeling on the subject. I feel passionately about it, that it's the wrong move. If he wants to stay in the business, okay, be someone behind the scenes. He gets his jollies off by hearing his own name. And it's time to end that. It's time to end that, Rick. Alright, I'm Brett Mix for Macho Wrestling 101. See you on the next video. I'm out.